up every morning in a house that was built by slaves.
What does the disgusting DNC and a French priest killed by ISIS have in common? Plenty. While performing morning mass, Jacques Hamel, Catholic priest, and 2 nuns were held hostage for roughly an hour and viciously attacked in a church in Normandy, France. The 2 attackers, one of them followed by police for over a year and a half, brutally slit the priest's throat and seriously injured the nun. As the Telegraph reports, both of the attackers shouted Daesh, which is the actual name for ISIS, ISIL, IS, or whatever it is the mind-controlling politicians would have us all call it. And right on schedule, French President Hollande offered more vague statements about declaring war on terrorism, saying, "Today we must be aware that the terrorists will not give up as long as we don't stop them. That's our will, and that's what we are doing tirelessly." While Marine Le Pen, president of the far-right National Party of France, observed, "The responsibility of all those who have governed us for over 30 years is immense. To watch them talking is revolting." This attack follows the Bastille Day horror in Nice, France. Clearly, France is under attack, as is Germany, after a recent wave of jihad attacks in Bavaria. But German Chancellor Angela Merkel will hear none of that, as Bloomberg reported. Government spokeswoman Ulrike Demmer told reporters on Monday the 4 assaults don't offer a clear picture about motives. There is a rising nervousness among our public. Mayor, who sits on Parliament's Internal Affairs Committee, told BBC Radio on Monday, "You have to differentiate. The events of Friday have nothing to do with our refugee policy. It is completely wrong to blame Angela Merkel and her refugee policy for this incident." Back in the United States, there wasn't one mention of radical jihadist terrorism during the first day of the DNC.
Thank you or not, as the case may be.
The Bernie or bust people, you're being ridiculous.
We must get big money out of politics and root out corruption. Hillary will fight to overturn Citizens United and return this government to the people. If you believe that America must work for all of us, not just for the rich and powerful.
We have got to elect Hillary Clinton and Tim Kaine. Brothers and sisters,
in fact, Hillary's running mate, TPP supporting Tim Kaine, declared in Spanish in an interview with Telemundo that illegal immigrants would be legalized within the first 100 days of Hillary's reign. While, as Breitbart reported, Hillary plans on admitting 420,000 Syrian refugees during her first term, expanding Obama's unconstitutional executive amnesty, dissolving the U.S. borders, freezing deportations, closing detention centers, and giving a full path to citizenship and Obamacare to illegal immigrants, far surpassing the chaos Obama has already introduced to the United States. Hillary Clinton wants to one-up Angela Merkel to impress her globalist masters. Screw the American people. Anyone can see that it is the immigration policy of Merkel that has brought the recent horror down on Europe. And the only solution is to immediately stop the flow of migration and begin the monumental process of mass deportation. This is jihad by immigration, or al-Hijra, as it is known by Muslims. Who in their right mind would allow a hostile enemy to move their soldiers and their families into their country? Now is it crystal clear why there was no mention of ISIS during the first night of the Democratic National Convention? John Bound for Infowars.com.